how y'all doing? Today we're going to be doing a Q&A. Oh my god, if you're not on my Instagram, I posted a question sticker for people to ask me questions. I also posted one on my community tab, and I've had some questions, and you could have also ask me anonymous questions, but I've got some questions that I will be answering in this video. Grab a cup of tea, grab your coffee, get something, sit down, relax, and let's get straight into these questions. Questions I got on my anonymous question sticker are the ones that are quite weird and interesting, I think. So if you want to listen to those ones, stick around. I would also at the end of this video be letting you guys know what I have planned for this year, so stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. In case you can hear background noise, there's a lot going on in this house, but I'm determined to make this video today. So please pardon any interruption, any background noise that might come up, and let's just focus on what we're here to do. Okay, first question I'll be answering today is, what has motherhood changed about you? That is a good question, and that's a question that I might struggle to answer right now, because before I got pregnant, before I even thought about pregnancy, childbirth, the whole shebang, I determined within myself that I wasn't going to change too much unless the change was necessary. And the change I'm talking about that I will be happy to change is things that I feel like might impact the development of my child. The only thing I would say that has changed about me, and I know my child is still quite young, but then what you don't know is that these children are watching, they're observing. So what has mainly changed is me being even more introspective than I used to be. So ensuring that I check my reaction to things, ensuring that I check my behavior, ensuring I check what I'm doing, and I'm making sure that I am being true to myself, because I want to have a child who knows herself and is true to herself, but then that I'm modeling a lifestyle that I think and I believe strongly that is positive for her to emulate, because at the end of the day, I'm my child's closest role model and her dad. So I want to make sure that what I'm instilling in her, I feel strongly that it's positive and it will help her, you know, guide her in the right direction in life. So basically, my mindset towards a lot of things has changed, especially in terms of making sure that I feel like, and I'm strongly believing that I am being upright and doing things the right way, to be able to, you know, foster and grow an emotionally independent, an emotionally strong, independent, you know, brilliant, happy, joyful young lady. I feel like that's the main thing that motherhood has not just changed but enhanced about me, because I already was quite introspective anyway. So the second question I got is, what do you enjoy the most about your career? So now this is something that I would advise everybody. If your career is not in line with one of your core beliefs, I feel like you might end up really not liking it. So my core value, one of my core values is, you know, helping people to have a little bit of a positive outlook on life. I really want to touch people in a way that is positive, and I love the fact that my job places me in a position where I can bring some level of positivity to someone's life. So that's my main thing about my career. So I feel like I could be doing anything else, but as long as it has that outlook, it has that end goal, I will be happy. So as long as I'm able to bring some sort of positivity to someone, which is exactly the reason why I'm still coming back making these YouTube videos, because let me tell you guys the truth, YouTube doesn't pay me. I don't get paid, but I'm so happy to do it that I keep coming back despite any like delays or any problems that I may be having behind the scenes, any issues with just getting on camera and recording. It does not stop me. I still come back and I still bring out these videos, because I strongly believe that I am bringing a level of positivity to someone. The third question I got on Instagram says, what is the difference between pharmacists, technician and dispenser? So a pharmacist has an M.Pharm degree and has taken the licensing exam to be a licensed and registered pharmacist. right? I'm talking about the UK pharmacists now. So in UK, a pharmacist is a person who has completed the MPharm degree, completed a 1-year training, taken the licensing exam and passed it, and has now become on the pharmacy and has now become a registered pharmacy professional and is on the list of pharmacists in the UK. A pharmacy technician is, I would say, this next step down from a pharmacist. So a pharmacy technician would be NVQ level 3 qualified and also on the register, so on the GPHC register, registered as a pharmacy technician. So a technician needs to have undergone the training, the NVQ certification, as well as face-to-face training, practical training in the pharmacy. So the training is not as long as what a pharmacist gets, but it's still quite a regimented process to get that pharmacy technician training. And then a pharmacy dispenser. A dispenser is someone who learns under the pharmacist to be able to dispense medications properly, appropriately, ensuring that there's no problems with medications getting to patients, obviously with the pharmacist overseeing. So the dispenser only trains under the pharmacist. Yeah, I also should add that a lot of companies have their own dispenser training courses, so it probably lasts about a year or a year and a half or 2 years at most. But yeah, lots of companies can train dispensers, but you don't have to go to a university to become a dispenser. You can become a dispenser and learn on the job. The next question I got is how do you juggle family and work? So this question, I know that a lot of people have been asked this kind of question a lot. I'm just going to answer from my own point of view. So before we became a family of 3, it was just myself and my husband. And I would say that we both are quite independent of each other. We understand the concept of having our individuality. So my husband is a lawyer. I'm a pharmacist. We have our individual friends, we have our individual likes and dislikes, we have our individual everything. So a lot of the time we prioritize being individuals. I think mostly because we were in a long distance relationship before we got married and moved in together. We both tried our possible best not to like merge into each other and become codependent. So we're quite independent of each other, though we have a lot of things that we do together. But for the most part, we encourage individuality, so that when we then come together, each person feels like they're well fulfilled in their own selves and don't desperately need this other person to fill them, right? So the dynamics now changes now that we have a child. We have a child and we have to be present for her. So what we do is we still want to maintain our individuality to an extent. So what we try to do is make sure that each person gets some time of their own to do their own thing. So I will be with the child and my husband will go off and do his own thing with his friends, with his career, with whatever, and then vice versa. So right now that I'm recording, this is my own thing. So my husband is with the baby, or someone else can be helping us with the baby, and I get my own time to do my own thing, so that when we now schedule time and we have time with our child together and everything, we all are present. You know that saying that says you can't, I think the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup. So we have to make sure that we're all full enough to pour into our child and into our relationship and our marriage and our family. And I pray that we continue to learn and, refine whatever needs refining in this system that we have, because I'm not going to say it works perfectly, but it's working for us right now, and hopefully we continue to, work on it and make sure it gets better. My next question says, what things do I look out for when trying to apply to hospital pharmacy? So I currently work under a hospital, but I don't work in the hospital pharmacy. So I have thrown this question to my friend who's a hospital pharmacist, and let me tell you her response, which I absolutely agree with. So she said, what's in the hospital are becoming as competitive as industry and community pharmacy. Interesting. I didn't know they weren't competitive before. I always had the impression that they were competitive. But she says to look out for hospitals associated with universities, as they are great for early development. thing that she said is that if you're in the interview, the interviewers will give you a vibe. So if you feel like you are welcomed by the interviewers, then you will most likely settling okay in that place. But if you feel like they're being strict and too serious, then you're probably going to be stressed out at that job. So I think you should take that, because I also agree with the fact that if you're in an interview and you already feel tense just by the way they act/react to you, then perhaps you shouldn't take that job. But if you feel like comfortable, you can banter with the people you're interviewing with, and you just feel chill, you don't feel tense, then it's a good one, and you might want to consider taking the job if you are offered. So yes, because the hospital, I know, is a high pressure environment to work in, just as community pharmacy is, and you don't want any like tension in the air, you don't want any really difficult working environment to add to the pressure that you already have being a pharmacist in a hospital. Right, so let's jump into this anonymous question stickers. Some of the questions I won't answer because I think they're quite a bit too much for my YouTube channel, so I'm just going to leave them out. But any ones I feel like can be answered here, I will. So let's get into it. So this one is random. What's your opinion on birds? I wonder who sent me this. I think birds are beautiful. I think birds are gorgeous. I just don't like the ones that are aggressive. So like seagulls, miss me with seagulls. I don't like seagulls because they're very aggressive. Like, it's like, excuse me, why will I be eating and you want to come and eat? Did I invite you? Did I invite you to my plate? You would be somewhere flying, you will see my food and you want to come and jump inside. Like, day or day, let me day my day. So I don't like seagulls. But overall, I think birds are beautiful creatures. I mean, God created them, and everything that God created is beautiful. Amen? So the next question says, are you looking to date someone right now? Am I? Am I in the dating market right now? I don't know. I mean, The next question, this is not a question, but the person says, I love you. And I want to say I love you right back. I don't know who this is, but honestly, you guys are awesome. I would not be coming back to do this over and over again if not for you guys. I really, really appreciate all of you and I love you guys. So the next question says, what did you dream about last night? Sis, if I tell you that I remember last night's dream, I can't remember. But I dream, or I just need to close my eyes and I'm dreaming. And I like it so much because I'm a strong believer that my dreams are channels. Not every single dream is, but my dreams are like ways that God communicates with me. So I try as much as possible to remember my dreams as when I wake up in the morning, just to, start that conversation as to what does this mean? Does it really mean anything? Is God trying to communicate something with me? But to be very honest, I don't remember what I dreamt last night. Next question says, when was the last time you lied? So let me tell you guys something about lying, right? I'm bad at it. I'm terrible. I'm so bad. This is one thing you will understand about me saying that I'm thinking more about what I do now that I have a child. My mom is such a bad liar. I've never ever... She can tell the little white lie, but 5 minutes later you will know that she's lying, because she will either tell you by herself that she lied. My mom is such a bad liar. So we have this joke about my mom that we say, if someone gives my mom like a fake passport, and if, say for example, she's trying to like flee the country, and you give her a fake passport and she's successful, she has managed to get through the immigration out of her country, getting into the next country. In fact, she's done everything. My mom will get to the final stage and go and confess. She will literally go, at the immigration point where they like scan your fingerprint and everything. My mom will tell them, this is a fake passport. I'm trying to run away from my country. I need you to arrest me because I've done something wrong by using this fake passport. You need to arrest me. Case in point, we ordered something from Argos, right? And we wanted to return it. We hadn't used it, we just wanted to return it, but we had opened it out of the box and I didn't know how to fit it back into the box, right? So my husband said to go to Argos and tell them that it just doesn't come as represented online. And I was like, okay, we'll do that, because if I tell them that I don't want it again, they'll expect me to package it back like it should be when they're selling it, because obviously they will want to resell it, right? And I was struggling to figure out how to pack it back. My husband was like, okay, just go and tell them that it just doesn't look the way it was presented online, and they will take it back from you believing that there's a fault or there's something wrong with it, right? I had this, I was rehearsing, I was saying it in my mind, I was saying it. And then I got to Argos and I said it again before I got to the till, so I was like the third person on the queue. And I got to the front till and the woman asked me, so why do you want to return this item? I was like, I just don't like it anymore, and I just changed my mind and I can't fit it in the box. And in my head I was like, that was not the plan. That was not the plan. What's wrong with you? Why can't you tell a white lie to save yourself? Why? But I don't think that's something wrong. I am quite proud of the fact that I don't tell lies, which means that a lot of people around me can trust me and trust what I'm saying. I just find it really difficult for me to say something that's untrue, because at the back of my mind I'm thinking, if I tell this lie, I might have to come up with another lie later to cover up this lie, and I'm so bad because I would have forgotten what I even lied about in the first place. So I might as well save myself the hassle and just not lie. And also, if you watch my video on how I almost got expelled from secondary school, you would know that I made a promise to God from that moment that I was not going to ever be caught in any like mischievous acts or deeds or anything, and that included lying. So all of this to say, I just struggle with lying, so I can't even remember when last I lied. If you know me better after this question, raise your hand, give me a thumbs up in the comment section below. This question says, who are your best girlfriends? Girl. From 2019, when I felt like I didn't have any, to now that I feel like I have tons of girl best friends. Oh my God, shout out to all of you. I'm not going to start listing names because honestly, my girlfriends are the awesomest individuals on the planet, and I don't take them for granted. So if you're my girlfriend and you're watching this video, hi, I love you so much. How old do you want to be when you get married? How old do I want to be when I get married? 23? Funny story. I always said I wanted to get married at 23. At the age of 21, I gave up on that because I was kissing too many frogs, and that dream was just looking like a very distant reality. And I just accepted that I might not just get married until I was 30. Funny enough, I got married a month after I turned 23. From my lips to God's ears. Who is your last Instagram search? Let's find out. Who did I search for last on Instagram? I searched for Wizard of Chelsea 1886 because I was just having a cup of their green tea with jasmine flavor and I was loving it, and I was like, gosh, these people must have Instagram. Let me show it to you. Let me show you the box that I got gifted by one of my friends, and I've been loving all the flavors of tea that I've been having. So if you can see it, it's Wizard Chelsea. I love. If you're a green tea or a black tea lover, that's an assortment of different flavors of tea, green and black, and I have to say that they're awesome. I gave someone a guest who was visiting my husband one of the teas here, and he had to take the packet home. That's how good it was. It says, are you a backseat driver? No, I'm not a backseat driver. No, I like to be in the backseat and relax, but I like to drive, so more often than not, I'm actually the one driving the car. So that's it for my anonymous questions, which I have absolutely loved answering. So let's jump into my YouTube community tab questions. So this one goes into the nitty-gritty of my profession as a pharmacist, as well as questions from pharmacists who are overseas. So let's get into it. So the first one says, do you ever have regrets of becoming a pharmacist? And the answer to that is no, I don't have regrets of becoming a pharmacist. One thing I would like is if we were paid a lot more, but no, I don't regret being a pharmacist. Second question is, what workplace do you find offers the most scope for progression and work-life balance? From my experience and the experience of other people around me, I would say that community pharmacy, unless you take matters into your own hands, do not offer these. But then it's a really good place to learn for newly qualified pharmacists, and it's also a really good place to go for pharmacists who are older and don't really like a lot of change, and just wants to do the same thing day in, day out and be okay with it. But somewhere that I would find a good work-life balance, you have more scope for progression. I would say working with a big organization like the NHS. The NHS offers so many roles for pharmacists. I would say, I can't even number them, but let's just say the NHS offers multiple roles for pharmacists, and it's vast. The only thing with the NHS is that it's publicly funded, so you might not be getting paid a whole lot of money. But what you can do with that is work part-time and do something else that you might get more money from. So that's my option. But if it's to learn and have access to a wide range of scopes, I would say definitely the NHS is somewhere you can go to, or any other big organization that is similar to the NHS. Because today you can decide to be a hospital pharmacist, and tomorrow you can decide to be doing health economics, and next week you can decide to be leading a team of people who go into the community, and you can decide to be doing strategy, you can decide to be doing so many different things. So I would say in the NHS or organizations similar to the NHS, you have the opportunity to utilize a lot of the skills that you have learned as a pharmacist, and then you will continue to grow those skills as well, because the NHS offers a lot of training and development opportunities. Next question says, what is the rate of acceptance for pharmacists who study in a different country from the UK? Is it usually an easy transition? Do I need to write IELTS? I'm currently studying in the Philippines, and I'm taught in English. If I'm graduating 2 years from now, when do I start my application process? So if you've not seen my video about relocating to the UK as an overseas pharmacist, I'm going to link it up on this video. But currently there's a good rate of acceptance for overseas pharmacists, largely because so many roles are opening up for pharmacists, and there's currently not enough pharmacists to fill up all these roles that are opening up. So yes, there's a large rate of acceptance. However, this might change over time, because we're hearing things like the OSPAP process is now oversaturated. I'm not sure what the GPHC wants to do about that. I don't know if they're going to open up more places for OSPAP, but it sounds like they might be thinking in that direction. But if they do, then absolutely, but I would advise you to start applying as soon as you can. Unfortunately, in your case, you haven't graduated, so I don't think you can start your application process just yet. So when you've graduated and you have your certificate to hand, start straight away. Because again, a lot of people are migrating to the UK, especially pharmacists, and these places are being snatched up so quickly, and you don't want to lose out. So, and I also believe that you would have to do IELTS. Pretty much anyone who wants to relocate to the UK and has been trained in a foreign country needs to do IELTS. Yes, there's room for lots of pharmacists. This might change within the next 2 to 5 years based on what's happening right now. But I would still say that all hope is not lost. All hope is not lost. Question says, apart from OSPAP, what other study routes are available for pharmacists in the UK? Apart from OSPAP. So OSPAP is the channel through which you would get your license to be able to practice pharmacy, to be able to use your clinical skills as a pharmacist in the UK. However, if you don't want to practice, if you don't want to use your clinical skills, you can do a master's in a whole different health sector and go into that. So, for example, if you want to go into industry, you can do a master's in something related to the pharmaceutical industry. The only thing I would say is that the guarantee for you to get a work sponsorship on for those jobs are slimmer than if you hold your pharmacist license and you're going into practice with your clinical skills. So there's other routes for you to come into the country, but I would say that it's more competitive because there are very few spaces available for people without the pharmacy license, because those positions are not many and they're already being taken up by people who are residents in the country. So you need to consider what's more important to you. Do you just want to come and use your 2-year post-study work visa to, get some work experience? From that work experience, you can break your way into the market. However, you should know that the competition is tight and there's not much room for lots of people in those directions. However, when it comes to being licensed via the OSPAP route, you open yourself up to a wide range of opportunities. It's just that it's actually getting a bit competitive now, and it's quite long-winded and it's quite expensive, so not everyone thinks it's a good fit for them. So it's up to you, decide what exactly would work for you. The question I'm going to be answering says, seats are full for OSPAP in 2023 September. Is there any chance to get a seat in this year? Unfortunately, one of my subscribers has sent me a message that she received from the GPHC saying seats are full for this year and next year. So unfortunately, people are even starting to apply for seats in 2025, which I think might soon be oversaturated. So yes, I don't know what the GPHC plans to do about it in the short term, but I have to say that for the next couple of years, it's quite difficult to get a place for the OSPAP course. Now, this is a nice segue into what I'm going to talk about next. I would like to know, because I know there's lots of you looking to relocate, and UK is looking like less of a possibility for lots of people because of how saturated OSPAP is. Would you guys consider relocating to other countries? Would you like me to, delve into other countries? Like, I've heard people talk about relocating to Australia. I've heard people talk about relocating to Canada. So if there's any country in particular that you think you want to consider relocating to, if I get a lot of people talking about one country in particular, I'm going to find more information and try and see if I can help you guys work towards those goals. So give me a shout out in the comment section below, or send me an email to my email address. I'm going to be leaving that up top, and I would see if there's any countries that lots of people are talking about. For example, I've been approached by an organization in Canada, and if it's something that some people want to go into, I can always discuss with them and find out what we can do to help people who want to relocate to Canada. So yes, definitely let me know. So for this year, what I'm going to be doing on this channel, and I think you've already seen one of them, is the ethical dilemma series. So if you want me to dissect an ethical dilemma that you've had in practice and you want to see a different way to approach it, or an ethical dilemma that you're currently facing that might not be a thing of the past yet, and you want to see how to approach it, or what my point of view would be, because like I always say, ethical dilemmas don't have one straightforward way of approach. So if you've got any ethical dilemmas that you would like us to discuss here on the channel, send them to my email and I will pick them up and read them, and we will go all into it here. Another thing that I will be trying to do on my channel is to give you guys different tips on how to get yourself to a position where you are actually now starting to enjoy your pharmacy career. So those are my 2 goals for this year. I hope that we are able to stick to it. And if there's anything else that comes up, of course I'm going to bring them to the channel, but those are my 2 main focuses. Thank you guys so much for watching this video to this point. If you have any robust comments, if anybody drops any robust comments, if I have any comments that I feel like are worthy of making into a video, I will certainly do that as well. So be on the lookout for all of these exciting things to come this year. I'm so excited because I think this is our year to take this YouTube channel by storm. Give me a thumbs up if you're proud of me for being a new mama and still making sure to come up here and make these videos, because I have to tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy, and I'm so grateful for my support system. Thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel. Oh, before I go, I have to let you guys know that you would soon be receiving in your emails, if you have already sent your email to my mailing list, a link to book my coaching session starting on the 31st of January. If you haven't already done this, leave me an email saying that you're interested in my coaching sessions, and once the link is live, I will send it across to you. So my email address will be on the screen. Make sure to drop me an email indicating your interest in my coaching sessions, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Have a lovely day, beautiful people. Bye.